Human resource planning meaning. Human resource planning, HRP, is an important function of human resource management. It refers to the process of predicting and preparing for the human resource needs of an organization in the future. In simple words, HRP means thinking in advance about how many employees the company will need, what kind of skills they should have, and how the organization will attract, develop, and retain those employees. HRP ensures that the organization has the right number of people with the right skills in the right jobs at the right time. It helps the organization avoid problems like shortage of employees, which reduces productivity, or excess employees, which increases costs. It brings a balance between the demand and supply of human resources within the organization. Human resource planning is a continuous and systematic process. It starts with studying the company's future goals and strategies. Based on these goals, HR managers estimate what kind of workforce is required. If there is a gap between the existing workforce and the required workforce, HRP helps in filling that gap through recruitment, training, promotions, or transfers. In simple terms, HRP makes sure that the organization does not face a sudden shortage of skilled employees when they are needed the most. It also helps in preparing employees for future challenges by planning training and development programs. Hence, human resource planning acts as a bridge between the organization's future plans and the people needed to achieve those plans. Human resource planning process. The human resource planning, HRP, process is a step-by-step method that helps an organization ensure that it has the right number of employees with the right skills at the right time. HRP is not a one-time activity, it is a continuous and systematic process. The following are the major steps involved in the human resource planning process. 1. Analyzing organizational objectives. The first step in HRP is to understand the future goals, strategies, and plans of the organization. HR managers study what the company wants to achieve in the coming years, such as expansion, new projects, modernization, or entering new markets. These objectives help determine the future manpower needs. In simple words, HRP starts by understanding where the company is going and how many and what kind of employees will be needed to reach that destination. 2. Forecasting human resource demand. In this step, HR managers estimate the number of employees required in the future. They predict how many people will be needed in each department and what qualifications, skills, and experience they must have. Demand forecasting considers factors like workload, new technologies, retirements, promotions, and employee turnover. It answers the question, how many employees and what skills will we need in the future? 3. Forecasting human resource supply. Once the demand is estimated, the next step is to study the existing workforce. HR managers analyze the current employees to understand their skills, experience, performance, and potential for future roles. Supply forecasting includes two parts. Internal supply employees already working in the organization who can be promoted, transferred, or trained. External supply people available in the job market who may be hired. This step answers the question, from where will we get the employees we need? 4. Identifying the human resource gap. After forecasting demand and supply, HR managers compare the two. If the number of required employees is more than the available employees, there is a manpower shortage. If the available employees are more than required, there is a manpower surplus. Identifying this gap helps the organization understand what actions need to be taken. In short, gap analysis shows the difference between what we have and what we need. 5. Developing HR strategies to bridge the gap. Based on the gap analysis, HR managers prepare strategies to deal with surplus or shortage. If there is a shortage, recruitment, selection, training, promotion, and outsourcing may be used. If there is a surplus, voluntary retirement, VRS, job sharing, redeployment, or reduction in hiring may be used. These strategies ensure that the organization has the right workforce at all times. 6. Implementing the HR plan. In this step, the strategies and plans are put into action. HR managers start recruitment and selection, arrange training programs, plan transfers or promotions, and take steps to manage excess staff if required. Implementation requires coordination between HR department and all other departments of the organization. 7. Monitoring and evaluation. The final step in HRP is to regularly check whether the plan is working effectively. HR managers measure results like whether manpower shortages are solved, whether training improved employee skills. The final step in HRP is to regularly check whether the plan is working effectively. HR managers measure results like whether manpower shortages are solved, whether training improved employee skills, or whether recruitment met the requirements. If there are problems, the plan is revised and improved. Thus, HRP becomes a continuous cycle. Conclusion. The human resource planning process helps organizations prepare for the future by ensuring that they have the right type of employees. By following steps such as forecasting, gap analysis, and strategy development, HRP supports smooth functioning and long-term success of the organization. Demand forecasting techniques in HR planning. Demand forecasting in human resource planning means estimating how many employees and what types of employees the organization will need in the future. To make correct predictions, HR managers use different techniques. These techniques help the organization avoid shortage or excess of employees and ensure that the right people are available at the right time. Demand forecasting techniques can be broadly divided into two categories: 1. Quantitative techniques and 2. Qualitative techniques. Both are important, and many organizations use a combination of these methods to get accurate results. 1. Quantitative techniques. These techniques use numerical data, past records, and statistical methods to predict future manpower needs. They are more scientific and reliable because they are based on measurable information. A. Trend analysis. Trend analysis is one of the simplest and most commonly used methods. HR managers study the past 5 or 10 years' employee data to understand how manpower needs have increased or decreased over time. If a company's workforce has grown steadily over the years, HR can predict a similar trend for the future. In simple words, trend analysis assumes that past patterns will continue in the future. B. Ratio analysis. In this method, HR managers compare the number of employees to certain business factors such as production level, sales volume, or number of machines. For example, if a company needs 10 workers for every 100 units produced, then for 500 units, the company will need 50 workers. Thus, ratio analysis helps estimate manpower needs based on fixed ratios. C. Workload analysis. Workload analysis calculates the total amount of work to be done in a department and then estimates how many employees are needed to complete that work. For example, if one worker can process 50 files per day and the organization has 500 files, then it needs 10 workers. This method is useful in departments with predictable workloads. D. Productivity analysis. This method studies the productivity level of employees. If the productivity per employee increases due to better technology or training, then fewer employees may be required in the future. This technique helps organizations plan manpower efficiently and reduce costs. 2. Qualitative techniques, judgmental methods. These techniques depend on the experience, judgment, and intuition of managers and experts rather than numerical data. They are useful when past data is not available or when future changes are uncertain. A. Managerial judgment. In this method, each department manager estimates how many employees they will need in the future. These estimates are then combined and reviewed by the HR department. This method is simple and practical, especially for smaller organizations. B. Expert opinion. Sometimes the organization consults experienced experts who have deep knowledge of the industry. These experts provide insights about future manpower needs based on market trends, technology changes, or economic conditions. This method is useful for long-term planning. C. Delphi technique. The Delphi technique is a structured method of forecasting. Here's how it works. A panel of experts is selected. A panel of experts is selected. Each expert gives their forecast independently, without discussing with others. HR collects these forecasts and prepares a summary. Experts review the summary and revise their estimates if needed. This process continues until a common forecast is reached. This method avoids group influence and provides more accurate results. D. Work study, time and motion study. This method studies how long it takes to complete a job and how many employees are needed to complete tasks efficiently. It is mostly used in manufacturing and production industries where work is repetitive and measurable. Conclusion. Demand forecasting techniques are essential for effective human resource planning. By using both quantitative and qualitative methods, organizations can accurately estimate their future manpower needs. This helps them ensure that they have the right number of employees with the right skills to achieve their goals. Supply forecasting techniques in HR planning. Supply forecasting in human resource planning refers to estimating how many employees will be available in the future to meet the organization's manpower requirements. It helps HR managers understand the future availability of employees both from inside the organization, internal supply, and outside the organization, external supply. Supply forecasting ensures that the organization is fully prepared to fill future vacancies through promotions, transfers, recruitment, or training. It mainly answers the question: from where will we get the employees we need in the future? The techniques used for supply forecasting can be grouped into two main categories: internal supply forecasting techniques and external supply forecasting techniques. 1. Internal supply forecasting techniques. These techniques help in estimating how many employees within the company can take up future roles. A. Skill inventory and personnel records. In this method, the HR department maintains detailed information about each employee such as skills and qualifications, experience, performance records, training completed, career interests. This information helps HR identify employees who can be promoted, transferred, or trained for future job openings. B. Replacement charts. A replacement chart shows the current job positions and the potential employees who can replace the existing job holders in case they retire, resign, or are promoted. This helps HR quickly identify suitable employees for key positions. C. Succession planning. Succession planning focuses on identifying and developing employees who can take over important managerial or leadership positions in the future. Organizations prepare future leaders by giving them training, mentoring, and job rotations. D. Internal movement analysis. This method studies how employees move within the organization through promotions, transfers, job rotations, resignations, retirements. By studying these patterns, HR can predict how many employees will be available internally in the coming years. E. Markov analysis. Markov analysis is a statistical technique used to predict internal movement of employees. It calculates the probabilities of employees moving from one job to another, for example, from junior level to senior level, based on past trends. This method is useful in large organizations. 2. External supply forecasting techniques. These techniques help HR understand the availability of employees outside the organization in the job market. A. Labor market analysis. In this technique, HR studies the conditions of the labor market such as availability of skilled people, unemployment rate, wage levels, competition from other companies. This helps HR understand whether it will be easy or difficult to hire people in the future. B. Educational training institution output. HR managers also analyze the number of graduates or trainees coming out of universities, colleges, and technical institutes. For example, if many engineering graduates will be available next year, companies can easily hire them. C. Economic and industry trends. HR studies economic factors such as growth or decline in industries, technological changes, government policies. These factors affect the availability of skilled employees in the job market. D. Government reports and surveys. Government statistics on employment, population growth, migration, and job trends help HR understand future labor availability. These reports provide reliable data. Conclusion. Supply forecasting techniques help organizations plan for the future by estimating how many employees will be available from both internal and external sources. By using methods such as skill inventory, replacement charts, labor market analysis, and economic forecasting, organizations can ensure that they have a steady and competent workforce to achieve their goals. Job analysis meaning. Job analysis is a very important function of human resource management, HRM. It refers to a systematic process of collecting, studying, and recording information about a job. In simple terms, job analysis means finding out what a job involves and what a person needs to perform that job successfully. It provides clear answers to two basic questions. What does the job require? What qualities should a person have to do the job well? Job analysis focuses on understanding the content, duties, responsibilities, skills, and work conditions of a job. It does not study people, but it studies the job itself. Key points in the meaning of job analysis. 1. It identifies job duties and responsibilities. Job analysis explains what tasks an employee must perform, how they should perform them, and why those tasks are important for the organization. 2. It provides information about skills and qualifications. Job analysis clearly states the level of education, experience, technical skills, physical and mental abilities required for the job. This helps in selecting the right candidates. 3. It studies working conditions. It describes the physical environment of the job such as workplace conditions, tools and equipment used, hazards, and safety requirements. 4. It helps in understanding job relationships. Job analysis shows how a particular job is connected with other jobs in the organization, for example, who the employee reports to and who reports to them. 5. It is a foundation for HR activities. Job analysis is the basis for several HR functions such as recruitment and selection, training and development, performance appraisal, job evaluation and salary fixing, job design and redesign. Without job analysis, HR managers cannot properly plan or manage people. Simple definition of job analysis. Job analysis is the process of collecting and studying detailed information about a job to understand its duties, responsibilities, required skills, and working conditions. Or in simpler words, job analysis means finding out what a job is and what a person needs to do that job well. Conclusion. In HRM, job analysis is essential because it provides accurate and reliable information about every job in the organization. With this information, HR managers can hire the right people, train them properly, evaluate their performance, and design jobs effectively. Therefore, job analysis is considered the building block of HRM. Job analysis methods. Job analysis is the process of collecting and studying information about a job. To gather this information correctly, HR managers use different methods. These methods help in understanding the duties, responsibilities, skills, knowledge, and working conditions of a job. Job analysis methods can be divided into two major categories. Direct methods collect information from employees directly. Indirect methods collect information from documents, supervisors, or statistical data. Using the right method improves the accuracy of job descriptions and job specifications. 1. Observation method. In this method, the HR manager or job analyst observes employees while they are performing their duties. It helps in understanding how the work is done, tools and equipment used, physical effort required. When useful, for jobs involving physical activities such as machine operation, assembly work, housekeeping, etc. Limitation: not suitable for mental or creative jobs. 2. Interview method. In this method, the job analyst talks to employees and supervisors to collect detailed information about the job. Types of interviews. Individual interview. Each employee is interviewed separately. Group interview. A group of employees performing the same job is interviewed. Supervisor interview. Supervisors provide job-related information. Advantages: provides rich and detailed information. Clarifies doubts immediately. Limitation: time-consuming and may include biased information. 3. Questionnaire method. A structured questionnaire is prepared and given to employees. They fill it with information about their daily tasks, responsibilities, and working conditions. Types: open-ended questionnaires. Employees write answers in detail. Close-ended questionnaires. Fixed choices are given. Advantages: can collect information from many employees at once. Saves time and cost. Limitation: accuracy depends on how honestly employees fill the questionnaire. Conclusion. Job analysis methods provide the necessary information to create accurate job descriptions and job specifications. Methods such as observation, interview, questionnaire, diary, and technical analysis help HR managers understand the nature of jobs thoroughly. Using a combination of these methods improves accuracy and supports major HR functions like recruitment, training, performance appraisal, and job design. Meaning of job description in HRM. A job description is a written document that clearly explains what a particular job involves. It describes the duties, responsibilities, tasks, and roles that an employee must perform in a specific position. In simple words, a job description tells what work has to be done, how it has to be done, and why it is done in the organization. In HRM, a job description is very important because it gives a complete picture of the job. It focuses on the job itself and not on the person who is doing the job. It acts as a guide for employees so that they clearly understand what is expected from them. It also helps managers to assign work properly and to evaluate the performance of employees. A good job description normally includes the job title, location, main duties, reporting relationships, to whom the employee reports, tools and equipment used, and sometimes working conditions. By giving clear information, it helps to avoid confusion in the workplace. In HRM, job description is useful for many activities such as recruitment, selection, training, performance appraisal, and job evaluation. In HRM, job description is useful for many activities such as recruitment, selection, training, performance appraisal, and job evaluation. When HR managers know exactly what the job requires, they can select the right person for the job. It also helps employees understand their boundaries and responsibilities. Thus, a job description is a formal, written statement that explains the main duties and responsibilities of a job. It helps both the employer and the employee to understand the job clearly and to achieve organizational goals smoothly. Job description versus job specification in HRM. In human resource management, HRM, both job description and job specification are important documents that explain details about a job. Although they are closely related, they serve different purposes. Understanding the difference between the two helps in proper recruitment, selection, training, and performance evaluation. 1. Job description, meaning. A job description is a written statement that explains what the job is, what tasks and duties it includes, and how the job is to be performed. It focuses on the job content and gives a clear picture of what the employee will be doing on a day-to-day basis. A job description usually contains job title, duties and responsibilities, reporting relationships, tools, machines, and equipment used, working conditions, nature of the job. Thus, a job description tells what work is to be done and why it is done. 2. Job specification, meaning. A job specification is a written statement that explains the qualities, skills, educational qualifications, experience, and personal characteristics required from a person to perform the job successfully. It focuses on the person who will do the job, not the job. A job specification is a written statement that explains the qualities, skills, educational qualifications, experience, and personal characteristics required from a person to perform the job successfully. It focuses on the person who will do the job, not the job itself. A job specification usually includes educational qualifications, technical skills, work experience, physical requirements, if any, personality traits, communication abilities, special knowledge needed. Thus, a job specification tells what kind of person is suitable for the job. 3 key differences between job description and job specification. Basis. Job description. Job specification. Meaning. Describes what the job involves. Describes what qualities the person must have. Focus. Focus is on the job. Focus is on the job holder. Content. Duties, tasks, responsibilities. Skills, qualifications, abilities. Purpose. To explain the nature of the job. To find the right person for the job. Used in work planning, performance evaluation, recruitment, selection, training decisions. Nature. Descriptive. Prescriptive. 4. Importance in HRM. Importance of job description. Helps employees understand their duties. Avoids confusion and overlapping work. Helps managers in performance appraisal. Assists in job design and job evaluation. Importance of job specification. Helps HR choose the right candidate. Assists in screening applications and interviews. Helps identify training needs. Ensures the selected employee fits the job requirements. Conclusion. In HRM, job description explains the job, while job specification explains the person required for the job. Both documents work together to make recruitment, selection, training, and performance management more effective. They help organizations choose suitable employees and help employees understand their roles clearly. Traditional methods of job specification in HRM. In Human Resource Management, HRM, job specification is a written statement that describes the qualifications, skills, experience, and personal qualities required from a person to perform a particular job successfully. To prepare job specifications, organizations use different methods, and the older approaches are known as traditional methods of job specification. These methods are important because they help HR managers identify the right person for the job and make recruitment and selection more effective. The main traditional methods include the following. 1. Observation method. In the observation method, the HR manager or job analyst directly observes employees while they perform their jobs. By watching the work closely, the analyst records the skills, knowledge, and abilities required for the job. Advantages. Provides real information about the job. Helps identify actual skills used. Disadvantages. Time-consuming. Some tasks may not be easily observed. 2. Interview method. In the interview method, the job analyst interviews employees or supervisors to collect information about the job. Employees explain what qualifications, experience, and skills are needed to perform their work effectively. Advantages. Detailed information can be collected. Employees can clarify tasks and responsibilities. Disadvantages. Information may be biased. Time-consuming if there are many employees. 3. Questionnaire method. The questionnaire method involves giving a structured set of questions to employees to collect information about their job and required qualifications. This helps HR understand the knowledge, skills, and personal qualities needed for the job. Advantages. Can collect information from many employees at once. Standardized questions make comparison easy. Disadvantages. Employees may not provide accurate answers. May not capture practical skills properly. 4. Technical conference method. In the technical conference method, the HR manager discusses the job with supervisors, experienced employees, or experts. They provide insights about the skills, qualifications, and experience required for the job. Advantages. Expert advice ensures accuracy. Helps in designing proper job specifications. Disadvantages. Expensive and requires coordination. May not reflect day-to-day practical challenges. Conclusion. Traditional methods of job specification are time-tested ways to identify the skills, qualifications, and qualities needed for a job. Each method has its strengths and limitations, and often organizations use a combination of these methods to prepare a complete and accurate job specification. These methods help HR managers select the right employees and ensure that the right person is placed in the right job. AI in workforce planning in HRM. Workforce planning in human resource management, HRM, is the process of analyzing, forecasting, and planning the needs of employees in an organization to ensure that the right number of employees with the right skills are available at the right time. In recent years, artificial intelligence, AI, has become an important tool in workforce planning because it helps organizations make better decisions using data and technology. Role of AI in workforce planning. Predicting workforce needs. AI can analyze historical employee data, business trends, and market conditions to forecast future workforce requirements. For example, AI can predict how many employees with a particular skill will be needed in the next year, helping HR managers plan recruitment and training accordingly. Talent analytics and skill assessment. AI tools can evaluate employee skills, performance, and potential by analyzing work patterns, feedback, and learning records. This helps HR identify skill gaps and plan training programs or hire new talent to meet organizational goals. Automating routine tasks. AI can automate routine HR tasks like scheduling shifts, maintaining employee records, and monitoring attendance. This saves HR time and allows them to focus on strategic workforce planning. Enhancing recruitment and selection. AI-powered tools can screen resumes, shortlist candidates, and even predict candidate success based on historical hiring data. This ensures the right talent is selected faster and more efficiently. Scenario planning. AI can create different workforce scenarios by simulating changes in business conditions, technology, or market demand. For example, AI can help HR understand the impact of downsizing, expansion, or automation on staffing needs. Employee retention and engagement. AI can analyze data to predict which employees are likely to leave and identify factors affecting employee engagement. This helps HR take preventive actions to retain key talent and maintain a stable workforce. Advantages of using AI in workforce planning. More accurate forecasting of workforce needs. Faster and efficient recruitment. Better identification of skill gaps. Improved employee retention. Reduced manual work for HR staff. Data-driven decision-making for strategic HR planning. Conclusion. In HRM, AI is transforming workforce planning by providing data-driven insights, predictive analysis, and automation. It helps HR managers make better decisions about hiring, training, retention, and deployment of employees, ensuring that the organization has the right people with the right skills at the right time. AI in workforce planning not only improves efficiency, but also supports strategic growth and competitiveness in modern organizations. Challenges in HR planning in HRM. Human Resource Planning, HRP, is the process of forecasting and planning the workforce needs of an organization to ensure that the right number of employees with the right skills are available at the right time. While HR planning is very important for organizational success, There are several challenges that HR managers face in implementing it effectively. These challenges can affect the efficiency of HR planning and the achievement of organizational goals. 1. Rapid technological changes. Technology in business is changing very quickly. New machines, software, and automation can change the skills required for jobs. HR planning becomes difficult when employees' current skills no longer match the new technology, creating skill gaps. HR managers must plan for training and development continuously to keep employees updated. 2. Globalization. Many companies operate internationally, which increases the complexity of workforce planning. Global operations require employees who understand different cultures, laws, and business practices. HR managers must plan for recruitment, training, and deployment in multiple countries, which is challenging. 3. Labor market uncertainty. The availability of skilled employees in the labor market is not always predictable. Sometimes, there are shortages of qualified candidates for certain jobs or too many applicants for fewer jobs. HR managers must deal with these uncertainties while planning recruitment and workforce allocation. 4. Economic fluctuations. Economic conditions like recession or rapid growth can affect workforce needs. During a slowdown, organizations may need fewer employees, while during expansion, they may need more employees. HR planning must be flexible to respond to changing economic conditions, which is often difficult. 5. Employee retention and turnover. High employee turnover creates uncertainty in workforce planning. When employees leave, HR has to recruit and train new staff, which increases costs and disrupts planning. Retaining skilled employees is therefore a major challenge for HR managers. 6. Legal and regulatory challenges. Labor laws, minimum wages, working hours, and employment regulations vary by country or region. HR managers must ensure that workforce planning complies with legal requirements, which adds complexity to the planning process. 7. Organizational changes. Mergers, acquisitions, restructuring, or introduction of new products services can change workforce needs. HR managers must adapt plans quickly to match the new organizational structure, which is challenging. 8. Predicting future needs. HR planning relies on forecasting the future workforce, but it is difficult to predict future business needs accurately. Factors like market demand, competition, and technological trends make forecasting uncertain. Conclusion. HR planning is essential for ensuring that the organization has the right people at the right time. However, challenges such as technological changes, globalization, labor market uncertainty, economic fluctuations, employee turnover, legal regulations, organizational changes, and difficulty in forecasting make HR planning complex. HR managers must use flexible strategies, technology, and continuous monitoring to overcome these challenges and make workforce planning effective.